This week on the Really Very Crunchy podcast, we're getting raw, we're getting real, we're exposing the hurt, the pain, the shame, the comedy. It is the Really Very Crunchy.
Upcoming Stone Cold Steve Austin, Pile Driver. Sounded like a WWE intro. We're getting raw.
Do you want me to try again?
On TBS. No.
Wait,
you're listening to the Really Very Crunchy podcast. We're starting off with a bang here, everyone.
People loved the intro, and then we're like, nah.
Didn't have high retention rates.
Didn't have high retention rates, people, so we got to do what's best. I'm sorry if you're here. I appreciate it.
This is a little bit of an explosive intro itself.
We have high emotions over here. Today's been a day.
It's been a day, yeah. Well, it is episode 2 in our apocalypse series, but don't let that turn you off like it did last week, because we're not going to talk about it for very long, because it was a 1-episode series. Gotcha.
We had plans. We had plans of having more than one episode.
I actually have 4 wasted papers here. I was reading over our notes before the episode, and we're thinking, oh, this is going to be great. And then I thought, this is terrible. This is, I don't know if we should diverge that. We're going behind the scenes today, folks. We're going behind the scenes.
Back the curtain.
Rolling back the curtain.
Rolling back the curtain?
What did you say?
I said pulling. You don't roll a curtain.
Rolling back the curtain. Pulling back the curtain.
Pulling.
Well, it depends on the curtain, I guess.
You're using a
rolling up the curtain. Yeah.
Roman shade.
I think we could, yeah. This was supposed to be, what if all schools shut down?
And then Jason was telling me the idea, and I was like, oh, wait, that already happened.
She actually, well, yeah.
It happened in COVID.
She said this before she fell asleep as I was describing the episode to her. And
I fell asleep?
Yeah, during the description of the episode. It was long and would have been the most boring. We're saving you from boredom, is essentially.
It's
because you've already seen it happen.
A favor. You've seen it happen, and there were pros and there were cons.
And COVID-19,
probably
all schools
more
shut
cons.
Down. Yeah,
I would think.
I don't think this happens very often, that people admit on air
defeat.
Their incompetence and defeat.
Mm.
And
here we are.
Here we are.
But that's okay. We do have something to talk about from last week's episode.
Oh. And it has to do with apocalypses. So here we go.
I guess
we're getting ahead of the news.
We're getting ahead of the news.
Ahead of the story, the exclusive, the dirt.
There's a Real Deal Prepper podcast that somehow caught wind of our podcast, and it set
last week's episode
hair on fire.
Fire!
So
her hair is on fire. Is that the song?
You can look forward to her critique. She said she's recording it Friday. I don't know if it's coming out.
Unless she hears this and is like, not doing that.
Prepping 2.0. Head over to her podcast. Give it a listen if you'd like to hear us be critiqued.
This is not sponsored by Prepping 2.0.
I'm really looking forward to the episode. I actually sent her a message and said, hey, if you'd like to interview me for your critique, I am willing and open to talking.
If you would like to throw me into your lion's den, I am all on board.
I'm here for it.
Yeah.
So, totally willing. If she's listening to this now, I am more than happy to.
Apparently, we target Gen Z.
Gen Z. How do you guys feel about that?
We sound very abrasive, actually.
We are a little abrasive. Jason and I actually got into a big fight today.
We're getting ahead of ourselves. Okay. Goodness. I mean, you're trying to condense the whole podcast into like the first 3 minutes.
The energy is in us. We're like,
yeah. Okay. Well.
Okay. Let's hear it.
The first reviews of our show are in.
Oh. The tour?
Of the tour. Yes. Because we practiced last night in front of a crowd of like 10 people. We got to work out our material.
We got lots of laughs. We got laughs. We got some even like wheezy laughs.
We even got that wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be.
Yes, we did get that quote. Lead singer of Sanctus Real said, that was better than I thought it was going to be.
Oh, is that what he said?
Yes, you keep thinking that he said that wasn't as
that
bad.
wasn't as horrid as I expected you to be,
he
you
said,
terrible, terrible person.
That was better than I thought it was going to be. You should, think about what if you ordered a chocolate cake.
Okay.
I'm just saying that because
chocolate cake in this
I'm
scenario?
not a good baker.
You love chocolate cake.
I love chocolate cake, but I'm not a good baker.
Yeah.
I was reading. Oh, okay. Let me just step back for one
Let's
second.
step back for 1 second.
I read this book
Uh-huh.
on our way to the rehearsal called Homeschooling with Gentleness.
It was a long drive.
And in it talked about if you want children to appreciate creating things and learning things, you as a parent have to show them the process by which something is made. Like building a table from start to finish. They'll never be able to appreciate that if they don't see it, if they don't know all that goes into it. And it talked about ways to do this are, building with them or even helping them write a story, typing it out, seeing the whole process from start to finish so that they can appreciate
fun.
things. Okay, anyway. In it said, try doing something that takes a lot of patience and technical skill, like
But what if you
baking,
don't have any patience?
like baking.
I have no patience.
So I'm just wondering if I have a lot of patience, but I
Not
guess
with
I
me.
don't with. Yes, I do.
You reserve it all for
I
the
have
children.
Tons of patience with you.
It's like you
just
give
use
it all
up.
to the kids, and I'm like, hey, honey, how's it? Get out of here! I'm just kidding. I made that up. That's never actually happened. I just wanted to.
What were you?
I don't know.
I'm talking about baking. I'm getting to chocolate
Bacon?
cake. I'm just not a good baker. Anyway, I don't even know what that had to do with it. But when I read it, I felt a little shamed about my baking skills.
Wait, all of that just led to you feeling shamed about your baking
Just like,
skills?
why can't I bake?
Is that why you love the
Anyway.
Great British Bake Off so much?
I mean, I could never do it.
That's the perfect bake.
I have tried so hard to create something so good. I mean, I can bake bread. Okay, that's
Yeah.
different. We're talking cakes. We're talking really moist muffins.
Mhm.
We're talking,
Wait, for you?
yeah.
Okay.
It's
Me hungry.
overbaked. I just
It's overbaked.
I don't know. I don't know what I do wrong,
You are
but I
not
do
the
it
best
wrong.
baker.
Anyway, so I would never bake a chocolate cake because it would just be a massive disappointment. So
You would be the first voted off
yeah.
in the Great British
I
Bake Off,
can make-
probably because you're American.
Okay, I
and they
can-
realized, wait, where's her visa? And then because of your baking skills. Right?
I can make a carrot cake, but a
Oh,
carrot
yeah, your
cake
carrot
is
cake's
so
really good.
moist.
Yeah.
There's so much moisture in it.
Well, why can't you do that with other cakes?
You're not adding carrots.
Carrots produce moisture for cake?
Yeah.
Oh,
And
no idea.
I've even made it
Wait,
with
there's
pineapple
carrot in
before.
carrot cake?
Yes, 6 cups in the recipe
Ugh,
or something. Some
gross.
crazy amount. Was it?
I don't want carrots in my carrot cake.
You like it.
Ugh.
Anyway, I can bake that one.
I like carrots. Fine.
Other than that, so you order a chocolate cake, okay?
I thought we were having a carrot cake.
No, I can make a carrot cake.
But you
We're
can't make a
ordering
chocolate cake because there's no
cake.
carrots
We're
in it.
ordering it, and you get it, and it's so good.
Wait,
and
where
you
did
say-
you get it?
I don't know. My friend Brittany, she's a
Mm.
good baker. You take a bite and you go, oh, this is even better than I thought it was going to be.
Wait, this whole thing was leading up to that?
Yeah, it's not. You shouldn't take it offensively. You shouldn't
Okay,
think it
so
as a
and
negative
she
thing.
gives you the chocolate cake, and you
the
say to
icing
her,
is just so sweet and smooth and creamy.
and you say to her,
the
quote,
depth of chocolate is
this is better than I thought it was going to be. You know what that says? You know what it says?
I
It
didn't
says,
have confidence in you.
you know what, Brittany? I wasn't sure how your cake was going to be. I kind of thought maybe it was going to be a little dry. Maybe it wasn't going to be quite sweet enough. But you know what? It was better than I thought it was going to be.
Or
But that could mean a lot of things.
or she's a good baker, and you know that
She's proven herself with cookies,
I've seen the pictures
but not
of
necessarily cakes.
I've seen the pictures of the cakes. and it was better than I thought I was going to be. So take it as a compliment. Anyway,
That's not as horrible as I thought it would be, Brittany.
Our tour is coming up. Our first show is on Friday. If you're interested in getting tickets, check out reallyverycrunchy.com/tour. And I think, nope, it's too late for the love code. Sorry.
Well,
just
you might have to pay
it.
full
Maybe they
price
didn't turn it off.
Yeah. I don't know. You could try it.
It's worth trying.
Yeah. Just try a whole bunch of codes. RVC, Really Very Crunchy, Love, Tour.
Buy one, get
Think
one.
Is Real.
That's me checking out. Anytime I buy anything, I spend 45 minutes searching the internet, scouring the internet.
And she finally finds a code for 3% off. It's like, I win!
It does feel like
just
you win.
saved on half of taxes.
There have been times where I get 20% off.
Yeah, that's pretty insane.
And it's like, what? If I hadn't have just done a quick search, I'd be paying that 20%.
Yeah.
I'm a penny pincher.
That's fine.
We all know that.
It's a good feature
okay.
of a human.
So what were you going to talk about next, Jason?
Well, that was a fun trip. It was really cool. It was actually really neat to walk through. That's what we basically did last night was we walked through the whole show on stage. We had videos up there. We had different elements that I hadn't seen in person that we'd planned out, and it's really neat to actually see it. I will say I was nervous even in front of just like 10 people. So we get up there in front of like 500 or 600 people. I can't talk.
Let me just say, though, I am singing. And Jason spent, I don't know, few hundred dollars?
A little bit of hundreds.
For me to have voice lessons last semester.
Okay, that sounds weird. That sounds a little overlordy husband. Like, you're getting voice lessons. I'm tired of your singing.
No, we've talked about it on the podcast before. I wanted voice lessons. Okay. I wanted to be able to sing. I wasn't willing to put in the effort because I have too many other things going on.
It was a gift of something you wanted.
It was my birthday present. Here, Emily. Finally learned to sing. Because you really are dreadful at it. No, I'm just kidding. I was
defending myself from that.
So I'm singing, and it's going to be something. I heard myself over the speaker system, and I was not impressed.
We've got plenty of time.
I'm looking at the people, the 10 people, and their faces were like this. Like a little, for those of you listening, like cringy, like the face, the emoji that has
it shows all the teeth.
Like, oh, what is going on?
This is great.
Jenny's daughter has a beautiful voice, and I could like see her eyebrows trying to like raise my pitch. Like, you're so flat. Just
You've got this. You've got this. You've got this. You could get there.
So that's something to look forward to on the tour.
All right. So back to last week's episode. About the apocalypse.
Oh, a few people wanted to know if we actually burned the paper. That was one burning question. I couldn't find the paper.
So
we would have been totally out of luck if things...
We could figure out where they live.
Now I've put terrible ideas into Jason's head. And...
I've made a new list. Friend or foe. Foe's at the top, but then friend...
It broke my heart. Jenny and Josh Urich do not listen to our podcast, I don't think.
This is a test. Josh, if you listen to this podcast, comment below.
So Josh was talking about how we were talking about COVID and how things were just crazy. And last night...
That's the understatement of the century.
I know.
Things were just crazy.
Last night, he said, there was a time at the beginning of COVID when everyone was so like... unsure of what was going on, that they all slept in the same room and that they were just not sure because they have a homestead. They had goats and chickens and all sorts of everything someone who would take over a homestead would hope that a homestead would have.
So they were prepared for the people like you.
So he was saying they felt so scared that someone was going to come and try and take over
their homestead.
That they were all sleeping in the same room, and every night he would drive his truck and block the entrance to their driveway.
Yeah.
And it broke my heart that people actually lived live in fear of that. So people live in fear of not being able to survive. And then there are people who are actually taking steps to survive, and then they have to live in fear that they're not going to be able to survive. Yeah. So where's the balance?
You want to be I'm envious of the man who has to park his car at the end of the driveway to block the people coming for his homestead because
he's doing it.
He's blocking me. Yeah. That's what he's doing. He's blocking me.
That's what I was saying. I didn't tell them about the list.
Like, Josh,
they haven't invited me over yet. I gotta get.
You were number 2. Number 1 was local, but we know where you live.
I don't know where he lives.
In Michigan, we'll find it.
I mean, if he pointed to the hand, I still wouldn't even know.
Where are you on the palm? I think I know. Yeah, I don't have their address or anything.
I don't.
We're gonna give it out in the show notes. For all of you who need to take over a homestead,
if you're in Michigan, we'll hook you up.
We will not be doing that. We protect our friends for ourselves in case we need it.
No, but I also had such an outpouring of people like, you don't have to take us over. You can just come stay. We'll use your skills.
And you respond, oh no, we're coming for you.
But then one person was like, don't undersell yourself. Your ability to knit will be so...
You're still like the last to be fed.
Because
at that point.
I mean...
you can't knit.
I was learning. No, I was learning. That's what's funny about it, Jason. I was learning earlier this year, and I technically can knit.
Well, I was laughing at the thought of knitting being an essential skill in the apocalypse.
No, I'm laughing at the ability that I can't knit.
You can't knit.
that I was like...
She's like, at least you can knit. Like, I can't.
I know.
You're just going to throw me over the edge.
No, I'd go in with my yarn and be like, I'm the knitter. And they'd be like, how's that sweater coming? Oh, it's still coming.
It's a slow process. Knitter.
No one actually, but if they need the knitter, then nobody knows how to knit, so I could just like wing it. Like,
well, the problem is they probably really know how to knit. They just delegated the useless task to the knitter. And so then they find out you can't even knit. So it's just bad for you.
I will say, I have been saving up clothes. This sounds ordery. I've gotten rid of so many clothes as well.
I have so many clothes. No. I could clothe all the
No, you don't let me.
Okay, all right. Sorry.
I started at thrift stores. If I see something in like a size 10, a size 12 for my boys, so that they'll have clothes that they can fit in.
They will be well clothed through the apocalypse.
Yep.
Thanks.
That was one of the steps I took.
That's your step. That's your skill.
I have like...
You thrifted your way to the apocalypse. Our children will be good until 13.
I have like 2 size 8 shirts, 1 size 10, and a 12. And I thought, well, by that point, then they could just wear my clothes.
Because you can't knit.
But there was the prepper mind in that choice. I did do that.
Yeah. Good job, Emily. We're ready. We're ready. All right. I'm excited.
Clothes are the least of our worries.
What can you do? I can thrift clothes like a madman.
The thing is, I'm going to use them. They're just stuck in our winter clothes bin. So I'm going to, like, when he gets that big, I'm sure they'll still be great. Yeah. So it's not like I wasted anything either.
All right. Well, all you Gen Z out there who's listening to us. Wait, did we say that?
I think we did, yeah.
Okay, yeah. I'm glad we're a Gen Z podcast now.
What would our version of Gen Z look like? This is so mid. I just learned that. I learned that over the weekend.
Just don't.
That if something's not that great, you just call it mid.
Okay, the 5 Gen Z who listened to this just turned it off.
Don't turn it off. No, I'm trying to.
Like, oh, we thought you were kind of cool.
Reach our audience.
Yeah.
What's something else that?
Well, whoever just turned it off, you're mid. Whatever. Okay. Sus. Yeah, we've talked about sus.
I actually have started.
Yeah, I know. I've
incorporating
noticed.
it more.
I've noticed you're starting to use some lingo now.
I said
and it's
it
like,
in front of
it grosses me out
I said
a
it in
little
front
bit.
of a couple, and their look that they gave me.
It warranted, indeed.
But I didn't apologize for it. I
You
just kept on going.
Should have, honestly.
Yeah.
Don't use young people slang. Use old people slang. That's suspicious.
It's not slang.
So earlier we had a little bit of a discussion about today's video, and it went over swimmingly. Today's video was a little bit of a controversial one. Wearing the Coke shirt.
Talking about parenting advice.
Well, advice you were given as a new mom.
Yes.
Actually,
several of them were direct quotes.
Actually, most of them were at some point or another.
The Laventurds was not.
No, that was just for fun. That was.
And the push your baby away in a stroller was not. But the other part of that one where I said, how tragic would it be if your baby could never go, or how tragic would it be if your child could never go to school,
Let's talk
or
about
college,
that,
or get married if they didn't have eyes on you? That is.
Or explain it a little more. I think this is a little. If somebody hasn't seen the video,
Out of left field. Okay.
Yeah, a little bit. Out of left field.
In the video, I'm talking about different parenting advice I got as a new mom. And one of them, I say something about the negative effects of baby wearing.
Mm-hmm.
And basically, sort of attachment style parenting, which includes co-sleeping as well.
Uh-huh.
And I have been told, how tragic would it be if your child could never go to school or college or get married because they needed to have eyes on you? That is absurd. That is the most absurd quote.
Can I say this?
What?
It's even worse that it was in a Christmas newsletter. It wasn't just a quote. This person decided to put it in a Christmas newsletter to all of their 15 people who receive it. And you know what? I think this Christmas, I want to talk about
sleep
training. I'm going to write a whole page about babies and how they should be oppressed.
Tragic.
How tragic.
Tragic.
A tragedy.
Tragic.
This is a tragedy.
Okay, but this is coming from someone who has given that advice in person.
Yeah.
So.
And in a Christmas newsletter.
And in a Christmas newsletter.
It's like, that seems like such a passive aggressive thing to do. It's like, oh, I know Linda gets this newsletter and she's been co-sleeping a little bit. I think I'm going to write a little thing. How tragic it might be if your kid never went to college.
Or got married.
Or even got, shall we say, married. If they were co-slept with. Like, okay. All right, Barbara.
I think we're at the point now that we can see children do grow and they do mature.
No. It's kind of like...
It's weird that our 7-year-old's still in diapers.
Yeah, I was going to say... Well, he's not, by the way. That's the case. No, I was going to say potty training. It's like, oh, they didn't potty train at a very specific age.
But actually, I'm very on board for EC, so
well,
I can sort of see that one.
They're not going to be not potty trained. I mean, at some point.
Yeah.
I mean,
I know. That's just, it's...
You can explain it to a 12-year-old, and they'll get it in the regular potty.
Aside from extemporaneous circumstances.
Well, of course. Yes. Ugh, I hate that we have to even say that. Okay. For the general population of humanity, there are certain... Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Most of what we're talking about is...
the general population. And we're kidding.
Yes. It's a stinking joke. I'm so tired of having to say it's just a joke. It's just a joke. I would be interested if you wouldn't mind.
Okay.
For the
I would love for you to try and trigger me.
I did plenty today. So I don't need to during the podcast, that's for sure.
I would know, but I think that would be a good exercise for us.
You want me to sit here and trigger you right now?
No, to actually be offended.
You want me to offend you?
Kind of. So that then I can exercise
so you can
that
see what
muscle.
It's like I'm so above being offended.
I'm not. But I don't take what people say on Instagram as gospel, and that's not going to shake me.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
And if I do see something that I don't like, it goes like this. Swipe.
Yeah. You should get off your phone. Just kidding. I'm offended by bad humor.
That does offend me a little.
I'm offended by really not good humor that people really like.
Yeah, that's what offends me. When people really like bad humor.
Really bad humor.
Comedy. Yeah.
Bad as in just that took zero skill to accomplish.
But we will do the low-hanging fruit and it will do so well.
We could do all over the place.
Yeah, I know. I'm saying,
yeah.
Sometimes a joke is too good to pass up, though.
Oh, so,
yeah. Even if it is low-hanging, it's just too good, so you have to make it.
Yeah, you got to toss something to the plebs every now and then,
If you're a pleb listening to this.
Plebs don't listen to this episode, to this podcast. If you're listening to this podcast, you're not a pleb. I'll tell you that right now. And if you're not a pleb, you should leave a review right now. Just tap that 5-star button. And we're almost to 1,000, which means I'm going to give away a wooden spoon.
No. Okay, so someone said that we should give away the teddy bear that I made you in college.
Oh, the teddy bear you made me? No.
I know.
No.
Well, I thought
that's my teddy bear.
And when I casually mentioned it to you, you were like,
I don't actually.
Absolutely not.
Yeah, no. You can't have a relic of my past. It's like, oh, you should give away your firstborn child once you reach 1,000 reviews. Like, oh, no. I mean, maybe. I don't know.
I could make a teddy bear.
Yes, you have so much time on your hands. Like, oh, we're about to hit 1,000 reviews. I'm going to go make a teddy bear. Not knitted.
Jason.
Not knitted.
The quality
and I will not be
of
making a cake in the shape of a teddy bear either.
I hate to tell you, it probably took me 30 to 45 minutes.
It's also polyester fill, so it's before you were crunchy.
I can't believe you even thought of that. It's also polyfill.
I've thought about it every day since 2021.
That's why it was in the basement.
Yeah, it's been in the basement
memory
for
spot.
5 years. Because it's polyfill. Don't need that near our babies. Though they have been fighting over it. You brought it out for whatever reason.
I was looking in the box for a picture.
And now our kids fight over the polyfill bear. Microplastics. All right. Well, so I want you to talk about something that came up a lot today.
That came up a lot today.
Because a lot of people don't even understand what is get your pink back, and why did you make a jab at it at the end? Well, the real there's
not what I thought you were going to talk about. I thought you were talking about what our argument was about, and the way you
what our what
it, what our argument was about, and the way you said it, like something that came up a lot, and I'm like, wait, you want me to talk about this on the podcast?
You want me to talk about why I called you an idiot so much? That didn't happen. It's a joke. I'm joking. It's a joke.
I know, but you keep saying that I have no patience for you. And get out. No, that's not at all.
To be fair, it was a civil argument at times. cutting this.
Okay. Okay. Get your pink back.
Tell me about, all right, so at the end of the video, there's this joke about stick with me and I can help you get your pink back.
That's not what it said, but yeah.
What is it?
If you do what I say, you'll get your pink back in no time.
Sorry. Okay.
So a lot of people thought that I was coming at the creator of that saying.
Lindsay Girk.
I don't even know that she created the saying. I'm not sure. She heard that flamingos.
She didn't create flamingos.
She did not.
Right.
That is for sure.
Right. So the flamingos have been doing this for a long time.
Centuries.
So she's kind of stealing an idea from the flamingos. Honestly. For marketing.
Okay. So flamingos lose
the flamingos thought of it first, if I'm just being honest here. They don't have their pink because they can't find any shrimp. That's why.
They lose their pink color when they are tending to chicks, supposedly. And then when the chicks are grown and it's not such an intense time, they get the pink back. So, and I'm guessing it has to do with the eating of the shrimp.
Can I ask a question here?
Yes.
That may throw this whole thing on its head.
Okay.
What if, and I could be wrong, what if flamingos during mating season, there's a ton of shrimp. There's just plenty of shrimp and they're feeling the big vitality and they're just, making babies and whatnot. And then by the time the babies are born, it's in the season of where there's not as much shrimp. And so they don't have their...
So
what if it has nothing to do with feeding the flamingo? Yeah. I think that what they're saying...
The intense time of caring for chicks.
Yeah.
I want to know how long flamingo loses its pink, actually. Let's look this up.
Until they get it back.
You can't do that.
Until the shrimp come back. That's my theory.
Okay, it says they lose their pink color due to the stress and demands of motherhood. It has nothing to do with the shrimp.
Really? Wait, is this from LindsayGirk.com?
Probably. Because I'm just...
this
is the AI overview.
Oh.
They use up a lot of energy caring for their young, which drains them of their color. Their plumage turns pale pink or white. When their chicks become independent and eat on their own, the parents regain their color.
Hang on. I'm going to look up my own.
Self-sufficient and leave the nest. It says the flamingo's hormones normalize and their color returns. Baby flamingos stay with their parents for 2 weeks.
How long is the lifespan of a flamingo?
Anyway, we weren't coming at the movement because it's a great movement for encouraging mothers. And I know a lot of mothers really needed to hear that message in a hard time.
Is this your apology?
This is not an apology because I wasn't coming at the movement. So I wasn't expecting you to talk about this, but
should I not have?
No, it's fine. I will say a lot of mothers do give into the idea of being a victim of motherhood. I've done it. You feel like a martyr because you're giving, and it is such a sacrifice. But you're not. You're not a victim. Ultimately, you brought the child into the world.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, adoption is a different case. You've taken the child on.
Mm-hmm.
And it is hard and it's intense, but you're not a victim. And it takes a major mindset shift to not view your children as inconveniences, as something that's soul-sucking. They're a blessing.
Yeah.
And it is a hard time, but it's a beautiful time. And if you pour into them, you will see the fruits of your labor. I truly believe it. But American mainstream parenting has become so used to pushing the child away. Independence.
Mm-hmm.
And that's not really what a child needs. That's not how we're created.
Right.
So when I said that at the end of the video, that was really more of like the mainstream take as observed from me via parenting advice I've received.
That is not low hanging at all. Okay.
There are layers. So
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, but I can totally see how hard motherhood is. I'm in the throes of it now.
Yeah.
But I also think that right now is going to be my favorite decade.
Yeah.
These young, hard years. It's
like you got your pink back. Yeah.
I had a friend's mom.
You sound like you got your pink back, Emily.
Thanks. I had a friend's mom who told her that the life is that your 30s and 40s is the main stretch. I just really like the way that sounds. And so, like, I'm in my main stretch and it's good.
I want my main stretch to be my 50s and 60s.
Your main stretch?
Yeah. Because now I have something to look forward to.
It is kind of weird because
I don't want to be in my main stretch because I'm halfway through my main stretch and I'm not stretching very far. It's not going so great. It's going fine. It's fine. What are we talking about? Professionally, parentally?
Familially.
Oh, well, in that case, I've got my pink back.
Stop. Stop.
I can't make...
I will say.
Okay,
Jason.
I never lost my pink. I've got plenty of shrimp in my pond.
Jason.
Thanks to you.
Doesn't
make all
care
our
for the get your pink back movement.
That's not my fault. I'm a man.
He's a man.
I'm a man. I could
him.
never understand anything ever hard. And if it's hard, I could never understand it. I'm a man.
Stop.
Men can't understand difficulty. They've never gone through anything throughout history. It's always the women. The women. We even have a book called The Women, and it was hard. It's a book about Vietnam and how hard it was for the women. Vietnam was so hard for women.
Stop, Jason. It's not a good look.
It was bad for some men.
It's not a
most
good look.
of them.
It's not a good look. It's not a good look.
Men have it so easy. They have their pink all their life. They never lose their pink. He never had to get his pink back. He never lost it. Because he's a man.
Stop.
Just remember, young men. If you ever think just stop. Just stop. Don't think. Just do what you're supposed to do. Keep going. If a thought comes in your head, you keep it down.
Stop. That's my argument.
I'm sorry. Anyway, hope you've gotten your pink back. If you haven't, there's a good movement I've heard about.
Okay, but let's talk about really quick how when your pink is gone, you actually transform.
I wouldn't know what that's like.
Into a pelican.
Oh, you want to go there?
Well, it's not separate from the getting your pink back.
I will say, flamingos don't actually turn into pelicans.
No. So
they're different birds.
There's a myth throughout a lot of even religious history. I think it is. Yeah, I think it's maybe a Christian based myth. Is that the word you would use?
Or legend.
Legend.
Yeah.
That people used to think that pelicans, if they were struggling, they would actually, like in the throes of motherhood, they had lots of chicks and they were trying to care for them. If they were not able to care for them through finding food, they would actually tear at their own breast and feed it to the babies. Like it was a very sacrificing, it was like a self-sacrificing endeavor. And this is a legend. They don't actually do that. But you can find in a lot of stained glass in churches, you'll see pelicans. And I think the pelican is like the symbol for Christ. So anyway, when the Get Your Pink Back first came out, I like jokingly told Jason that I'm more of a pelican, or it feels like it. And so then I was like telling him about it, and the thought popped in my head, well, like flamingos actually lose their pink. So
But pelicans don't actually.
But pelicans don't even actually do that.
Because it's a legend.
Yeah. So then I was like explaining it to Jason, and he was like, oh, wait. He said something like, yeah, you might say this is a myth or it's a legend. And what I say to you is become legendary.
Oh, yeah.
And I really liked that.
And I immediately started making t-shirts.
So Jason wanted to make pelican t-shirts after I told him all this. And I was like, no, that'd be a little
If you would like a pelican t-shirt, comment below.
Legendary?
Legendary with a pelican ripping open its breasts. Is it breasts or just breast?
Just one?
Does a bird just have a breast?
I do feel like it could be a really cool t-shirt.
Yeah.
But it was not in opposition of the Get Your Pink Back movement. It just like made me think of that, and I really
It is quite a bit more legendary, however.
Hers is pretty legendary because it obviously struck a chord.
Yeah.
And I think it's a good message for moms.
Yeah. Just thinking about what we could do for men and birds. An eagle, go to war. Be a soldier. Do what you're told, men. Go to war. All right.
Okay, here's another thing, though, that I want to explore.
Just sit down and be quiet. Let's reel this in a little bit. And I'm using a fishing term because I'm a man.
What are you? Nobody was hating on men, Jason. You just are jealous because you don't have a pink shirt. Get your pink back shirt.
I don't, because men don't have a movement.
They have plenty of movement.
All we have is football, baseball, basketball, hockey.
Women have those things too now, so.
Hardly. Have you ever been to a women's basketball game? It's atrocious. Sorry if you find that offensive. I'm not editing that out. You can take that to the bank. Women's basketball is not fun.
Jason.
Except unless you play it.
Jason, I'm just telling you, and I know that, like, there's a really annoying political climate of tearing down men, but even coming from someone who's not in that
Oh, you're
realm,
not at all. No. You don't.
Men shouldn't be upset that they don't have a Get Your Pink Back movement.
I want a bird. We need a bird. I'm not upset in the least bit. Though I think there should be paternity leave for at least 3 days.
Yeah, I think that's pretty standard. You just didn't have it. You used one sick day when we had
to use my sick day.
Oaks. You used one sick day.
Yeah.
Thankfully, he was born on a Friday.
Yeah. Guys, can I take off? My kid was just born. Nah. How many sick days you got left? 3. You could use one of them. Okay. But we're not paying you.
Yep. That's exactly how it went.
Okay. Love it.
So we're just jaded. Is that what this episode is?
Next episode, we should just talk about how jaded we are in real life. You're not. I've just jaded you a little bit, but I look at life and we already had one about pessimism versus optimism, and it was actually a really
really good episode.
Really highly received episode. Everybody's like, yeah, I'm pessimistic too. I don't even like your podcast, but I like this episode. I'll leave a review. And if you would like to leave a review.
Stop.
All right. We're almost to 1,000. You can get my stuffed
You
polyfilled
didn't
bear.
Stop.
You can get my stuffed polyfilled bear.
Wait, if you're saying it, you have to commit.
I'm not committing to that. We'll just get them one from Kohl's.
You
They're
can
like
tell
$5.
it wasn't handmade.
Nah. She made me a Snoopy. Why is the tag on it? Wanted to make it an authentic Kohl's Snoopy. Thank you for listening to this week's episode, and
That
sorry.
was it? We didn't even talk about our fight. Didn't we tease people?
Did we have a fight? Okay, the fight was about the video and how we make you look bad. And you're not a bad person, but I'm the mean overlord.
No, what happens is Jason thinks everyone should just be able to take a joke. And
I do
so
think everyone should be able to take a joke.
So do I. However, there is a feminine side to me that can understand.
Wait, you just said, however, women. That's what you just said.
Yes. However,
I think everyone should be able to take a joke. You said, however, women, period. Not on their period, but that's a different issue. It's a completely different issue. I will not go there. I am a man. Not allowed to.
Ever. The feminine side of me understands. It understands
the lack of humor.
The like just feeling so ragged, feeling like you're just doing what you can to make it through the day. And here comes little Sally Crunchy. I don't know.
I like it.
Giving her 2 cents, wearing her Coke shirt.
But she's going through it too.
I know, but yeah, I know. I get it. And like it's actual parenting advice that was given to me. So I didn't even make it up.
No,
but
we didn't even have to write
I
that
can
one.
see
we got it in a Christmas newsletter.
But I can see the humor. I actually gave my firstborn pouches.
He chewed on them for hours.
He didn't. But I did. I used the pouches. And I mean, we've bought applesauce pouches for on the go. Like, it's not, and I'm not triggered by someone talking that, like, you shouldn't give your kid.
She went against pouches? Trigger! You should have put a trigger warning on this.
I said in my book, I couldn't even afford cloth diapers when I had my first kid. I was, like, very freely using disposable diapers.
Those diapers will be out there for the next 495 years. What? I thought it was 500 years.
I thought it was 10,000 years or something.
Let's get your book and find out.
So, yeah, no, I mean, like the grossest thing I wrote in my book is that every disposable diaper that has ever been thrown away is still out there.
Oh, and will be out there for your children's 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 children. Think about that. And all their diapers will be there for their children's 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 children. And then their children's 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 children will have their diapers. It's like Hook from...
Yeah, but like it's so hard. You can take that stance, but then are you getting plastic grocery bags? Like, where do you draw the line?
Your grocery bags will be there for your children's
children. Are you getting
children.
Things from Amazon delivered in the plastic envelope? Not
for
that I would know.
Children's children.
Are you buying things in plastic?
You talk about heirloom, just buy plastic. Heirloom
lasts forever.
Lasts forever. Maybe in a landfill. They'll have to dig it up later. 10,000 years from now, they're going to be like, what is this civilization? It's Timu! We found the land of Timu! In this big mound.
Jason's
with diapers.
In a mood. Oh, my word.
I'm in a tea mood. Okay, sorry. That was bad. That fruit was fruit was hanging so low it was rotting on the ground.
All I was trying to say, and what we had an argument about, is the people who can't take jokes. I can understand it. I understand where you're coming from. Jason cannot.
No.
He cannot understand it.
I don't have the empathy gene or whatever that is. People are stupid.
Stop.
And if you were offended by that, well, check your IQ.
Stop. Didn't you say IQ is not even a thing? That's a conspiracy.
I don't know about that, but it's not very accurate, and it changes over time. Not by much.
Well, before we totally cancel ourselves, thank you so much for listening to the Really Very Crunchy podcast.
Come see us live. I don't know if it'll be this good, but it might be better than you expect.
I hope you don't make me laugh on stage. Like, what if I'm just dying laughing? Like,
it all
can't
depends
breathe,
on what
just like
the
that.
crowd's doing.
And then...
No, I'll be so nervous I won't even be able to be funny. I'm like, that's me stuttering, not stuttering, shivering. I shiver when I'm nervous. Like, it's not just shakes. Like, I get shivery in my chest.
Okay, think about that feeling, and maybe that's what a mom felt when she watched our Coke Mom video.
Then there are much bigger problems at play. I will just say that. Thank you for listening to the Really Very Crunchy podcast. I'm sorry.
Goodbye.